So I had this moment a few weeks ago where I was in the middle of a pretty full and busy day. Like I had stuff going on in the morning and the afternoon and plans for the evening, and the whole thing was pretty busy and productive. And I remember just sitting in my car for just like 5 minutes, and this thought kind of occurred to me. When was the last time I actually enjoyed a day? Not completed a day or got through a day or not having a productive day. I mean, actually enjoying a day, like genuinely feeling alive during it. And I couldn't remember, and that scared me more than I expected it to. I don't think anyone consciously decides to trade their life for a schedule. I don't think you sit down one day and you think, yeah, I'm going to spend the next few years just being busy and calling it a life. I think it happens way more gradually than that. It probably starts off with just trying to be responsible or trying to be productive, trying to do the right thing. And all those are good impulses, like there's nothing wrong with any of that start. But I think somewhere along the way, productivity becomes the identity. And before you even notice it happening, you've built this entire life around output, around tasks, around checking things off and moving to the next thing. And it looks really good from the outside. And that's the thing about busyness, it looks like success. It looks like ambition. It looks like you have it together in a way that most people don't. So people affirm it and they tell you how impressive you are, how much you get done, and how they don't know how you do it. And you take that in and it reinforces the whole thing. Until one day, you're sitting in your car in between two obligations and you realize you can't remember the last time you were actually present in your own life. Here's the thing nobody tells you about being busy all the time. It feels like purpose, like genuine purpose. Like you matter and you're needed, and there's always something requiring your attention. And that feeling feels good. It feels good to be needed. But underneath that feeling, if you actually sit with it, there's something else. There's this low level anxiety that never fully goes away. This background hum of there's always more to do, always something I should be doing right now, always a way that I could be using my time better. And it follows you everywhere into moments that are supposed to be good and relaxing, into the weekend or into vacation. And the busyness doesn't stay in the busy moments, it colonizes into the quiet ones too. I think that's the real problem. Not that you're doing too much, but that the doing has become so loud that you can't hear anything else anymore. So I want to tell you about this specific night that I experienced a few months ago. I had one of those days that looked great on paper. Like I got a lot done. I handled things and I was where I needed to be when I needed to be there. And by every external measure, it was a successful day. And then I got home. I sat down. I just felt completely empty. I wasn't tired. I wasn't exactly sad. Just hollow. Like I'd been running on a treadmill all day and I'd gone nowhere. And now I had to get up again tomorrow and do it all over again. And I started to think about the last time I felt the opposite of that. The last time I felt full instead of empty at the end of the day. And what I kept coming back to were these very specific, small moments. Like a conversation with someone where we just talked for 2 hours about nothing inherently important. Or a random afternoon where I had no plans, so I went out for a walk and just enjoyed the beauty of nature. Or a meal that I actually tasted because I wasn't watching my phone trying to multitask. And none of these things were on any to do list, and none of them would have looked impressive to anyone on the outside. And none of them were productive in any measurable way. But they were moments that I actually remembered, and they were the moments that I actually felt something during. And I realized I've been trying to cut those little moments out of my life in favor of stuff that made me look productive. I think a lot of the time busyness is just avoidance. It's like wearing a really convincing costume. And when you actually strip it back and you ask yourself, what are you actually running from by keeping yourself this occupied all the time? The answers aren't always flattering. And sometimes not being busy means being alone with your own thoughts. And you'd rather not have that. You'll start having questions about whether you're actually happy, whether the life you're building is the one you actually want, or whether you're becoming you actually want to be. And those questions are uncomfortable, I can admit that. And the busyness is a very effective way to not have to sit there with them. Because there's always something else. There's always another thing to do, always another reason to stay in motion. Motion feels like progress even when it's just circles. I'm not saying everyone who's busy is running from something. I think some people genuinely have a lot going on and they're handling it. That's real. But I think more people than would like to admit it are using their schedules as a shield. They're keeping themselves so occupied that they don't have to sit there with those uncomfortable questions. And the longer you start to do that, the louder it gets, the louder those questions start to become. So, what does actually being alive feel like versus just being busy? And I've been thinking a lot about this lately, and here's the best way I can put it. Being busy feels like you're just moving through your life, and being alive feels like you're actually in it. Being busy is going through the motions of a good day, and being alive is being present enough to actually feel the day while it's happening. Busy is productive, and being alive is meaningful. And those things overlap sometimes, but they're not the same thing at all. And I think a lot of us have spent so much time optimizing for productivity that we've completely forgotten to ask if any of it's meaningful. Like at the end of all of this, at the end of all the doing and achieving and checking off and showing up, and being useful, what do you actually have? What do you actually remember? What actually mattered? And I think for most people, if they're honest with themselves, it's not the busy stuff. It's never the busy stuff. It's the conversations, the moments, and the people. The times you were so present you forgot to document it. The stuff that didn't make it onto any list. I want to be real here because I don't even have this all figured out yet. I'm not someone who's cracked the code and now lives this perfectly balanced life. That's not what this is. But something has genuinely shifted in how I think about my time. I've started to ask a different question when I look at my days. Not just, did I get everything done? But did anything actually happen today? Like, did I feel something? Did I connect with someone? Did I do anything that I'm going to remember in 5 years? And some days the answer is genuinely no. And some days it really just is tasks and obligations and moving things forward. And that's okay, that's just part of life. But I'm trying to make sure it's not every day. I'm trying to make sure that there's at least something in there that's alive, not just productive, not just useful, actually alive. Because I think that's the thing I was missing for so long. It wasn't ambition or discipline or direction. It was just presence. Like actually being in my own life while it's happening instead of preparing for some future version that keeps me moving further away. I don't know, maybe this resonates with you. Maybe you're in the middle of a stretch right now where everything looks fine from the outside, but it just kind of feels hollow from the inside, and you can't quite figure out why. And maybe the why is that you've just been so busy being busy that you forgot to actually live a little. That's where I was. And I'm still trying to figure out what the other side looks like. But I think it starts with asking the question, when was the last time you actually enjoyed a day? Not completing a day, actually enjoying a day. And if you can't remember, that's probably something worth paying attention to. Let me know what you think. I'll see you all in the next one.